There are 6 key traits that I have found to make up good joint venture partners, private lenders in our real estate business over the last 16 years. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking those down for you. So these 6 things we call an avatar. So what is an avatar? An avatar is an embodiment of a person or an idea. So in this case, for the purpose of this video, we're going to be talking about 6 things that I have found where when I'm talking to somebody and I'm looking at qualifying them and figuring out if they should be a good partner or not, these are the 6 things that I try to measure them against. And if they pass all 6, then we move forward in our process. So the first characteristic is I look for people that are at least 25 years or older. Now, why that is because obviously people that are older, 25 years at least, they have finished university, they've got good employment, and they have access to credit or even investments that they can go out and loan you money. Second key characteristic that make up a good lender or JV partner is they are married. And what I have found that people who are married, they usually have a deeper why. They have a deep reason why they want to get into real estate, why they want to lend money, why they want to make a better return. And it's usually because they have dependent children, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. But people who are married, what I find is they're usually just committed. They're more committed people to actually want to invest and make money for the long haul versus people that are single, they're 25 years age. They just don't have high motivations, what I have found. And again, this is from raising over $50 million for our business over the years. The third key characteristic is something that I mentioned in point 2 is they have dependent children. So when I'm looking for people, I don't look for people that are just married or newlywed. I look for people that have children. And why that is it goes back to my point 2 is people that have children, they are usually more motivated. They have a deep desire to save for their children's education, maybe even save for their retirement. And they have a deep desire, or what we call a deep why, where they want to pass on something to their children or even make enough money where they can actually go on vacations. They can go on family trips. They can put their kids in school. And you, as a real estate investor looking for these kinds of people that have good incomes, that are married, it's going to help you qualify people a lot better when you put these 6 filters. And that's key number 3. Characteristic number 4 is I look for people that have a home. And why that is because people have a home, usually if they have equity in the home, well, they can refinance that, especially if it's paid off, and they can loan you money where you can go out and buy properties. And again, if people have the other qualifiers, they have married children, they usually have a good job, they usually have good credit, well, guess what? They can go and exchange or maybe even refinance their house, whether it's paid off or not, and borrow you money so you can go out and buy properties. Now, we've done this quite a bit over the years. This is actually one of the main sources that I use to buy real estate. We look for registered or non-registered fund, but the biggest thing is I look for people that have a home, specifically if they have equity. Now, if you're looking for people that have a home, keep in mind, look for people that have a house or maybe even some rental properties that they've owned for 10, 15, 20 years. And maybe they're not so active anymore, and they might even make a good lender, a more of a passive partner. So again, not just people that have a home, but people that might have 1 or 2 rental properties that they've owned and they've built up a bunch of equity. And that would be a great source for you to go out and buy properties with. Characteristic number 5 in my perfect avatar of a lender or partner, someone that I can go and buy properties with, who can loan or even partner up with me, is I look for people that have a solid career or business. Now, that's self-explanatory. People that have a solid career or business, well, guess what? Because of that reason, they can go out and get access to loans, lines of credit. They can refinance their property. They can actually go to a bank and actually borrow funds if they need to partner up with you, versus people that don't have a good job. They make very low income and they're not going to be able to go to a bank or even refinance where they can pull out $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for the purpose of investing, for the purposes of borrowing you money. So that's another important characteristic that I look for when I'm looking at approaching somebody or even qualifying them to see if they would make make a good partner or not. And my last key point here is probably the most important, is I look for people that are tired of traditional investments. And what I mean by that is, you know, a lot of people today, whether they have a GIC, they have registered funds, they have mutual funds, they have TFSAs, and they're not getting a good consistent return. You know, they're getting subpar returns, or maybe they're getting a 3 or 4%. And again, with all this inflation rising, they're barely keeping up with inflation. And then if you factor in the taxes that they have to pay on that return, some of these investments that I have found, they're getting a negative return, right? Especially GICs. And if you really look at it, there are tons. There are millions and millions of dollars in Canadian banks right now that people have just put there because they have no other option. They don't even know that they can partner up with someone like me or a real estate investor and borrow them money. So that's the last thing I look for, is I look for people that are dissatisfied. Now, again, when you're looking at people and you're qualifying and you're making your list of say 50 to 100 people, I want you to apply these 6 avatars, these 6 key characteristics, so that you're not just talking to anybody who can fog a mirror. You're actually putting them through this filter system. And again, we have used this over the last 16 years to purchase over 143 properties. And really, when I took time to look at, well, what are the key things in common that these people had that really made them a good partner or someone that I can just quickly qualify, it was these 6 key characteristics. Again, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you have found value from it, consider subscribing, liking, or even sharing it with anybody else that may find value from it. And we'll see you guys all in the next video.